Hello everyone and welcome to Around the World on 8 Plates. Well, we are in a different country right now. That's right, I am actually in the country that we're going to talk about today. Ooh, it's really nice here. Anyway, my friend called me a while ago. Her name is Sabrina. Yeah, as in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, right? And she's marrying a guy named Larry. And she says that she's having a kid soon and she wants to combine the names of her name and her husband's name. So she's going to name her kid Slorina. Slorina. It kind of reminds me of something. It reminds me that I need to film this episode, Slorina. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. But in the meantime, remember, my friend's name is Sabrina, her husband's name is Larry, and they're going to name their kids Slorina. Slorina.
This episode is brought to you by National Taiwan Normal University, Common Core Education Committee, Foreign Language Education Division. Hello, and welcome back to my show. We took a short break, but now we're ready to start Season 2, Episode 1. And we are ready to go around the world on 8 plates again. We are going to 8 different countries, and we are going to learn how to cook 8 different signature dishes from these 8 countries. So this is Season 2, Episode 1, and we're going to a new country. Which country is it? Here are 3 clues for you. Clue number 1. This country has the highest rate of protected areas in Europe and second around the world, second only to Venezuela. So which country is it? Well, if you're a nature lover and if you're an adventure seeker, you will love this country because this country has lots and lots of protected rivers, protected land, protected forests. Why is it so protected? Let's find out. Not too long ago, this country achieved an eye-opening 96 out of 100 points on detailed sustainability indicators. And its capital, Ljubljana, was also anointed Europe's greenest capital. Why? Well, first of all, traffic for cars is restricted in the center. There's a huge no-car zone. Furthermore, bicycles are highly encouraged. Urban cycling is growing rapidly, and the city cyclists thoroughly enjoy using the free bike-sharing network. Next, even if you take public transport, most of the public transport emits zero carbon. For example, you can take the electric tourist train and explore the city. Next, even taxis and hop-on and hop-off sightseeing buses are run by electricity. And they run at a slow speed, so you can hail them anywhere on the city street. The name of the hop-on and hop-off sightseeing bus is called Cavalier. And the city is very proud because it has 542 square meters of green space per inhabitant. And a rich beekeeping tradition only means that the city is filled with trees, flowers, and other plants. Finally, if you're thirsty in Ljubljana, finding water is not a problem at all because there is an app called Tap Water Ljubljana. It helps you find the 30 plus drinking fountains scattered throughout the city center. This means you can drink water that is free of a plastic container. Now, what about the rest of the country? It's not just in the capital where people pay attention to taking care of the environment. And this brings us to clue number 2. Now here's clue number 2. Did you know that in this country, 1 in 200 people keep bees? That's right. A lot of people are interested in beekeeping in this country. Other than beekeeping, other favorite pastimes include mountaineering and hiking. And that's why nearly 60% of this country is covered in lush forests. And there are more than 40 parks and natural reserves that are home to some 20,000 different plant and animal species.
Okay, now here's clue number 3. And this clue is a song. So you're going to listen to me singing a song from this country. So, where are we going on this episode of Around the World on 8 Plates? Well, let's welcome everyone to the country of Slovenia.
To understand how to cook today's dish better, let us quickly learn more about Slovenia. Here's a postcard showing us a flag, some basic information, and the location of Slovenia on a map. Finally, continue reading to find out more information about beekeeping in Slovenia. Now that we have gotten to know Slovenia a little better, it's time to cook one of Slovenia's signature dishes. So today, the country being featured is Slovenia, and we're going to feature one of Slovenia's signature dishes. It's basically fried fish with potatoes and a garlic basil chutney. So let's start with the ingredients. For the garlic chutney, you'll need 2 tablespoons of oil, 2 teaspoons of salt, some scallion or green onion, you'll need 6 cloves of garlic, and you'll need some type of herb. Today we're using basil, but you can use parsley as well. Now for the protein, you'll need 300 grams of fish. Any type of fish fillet will do, but if you can get hold of trout, that will be best because wild trout is very popular in Slovenia. Next, you'll need some wine, 1 or 2 tablespoons. If you can get hold of schnapps, it's a Slovenian type of alcoholic beverage, then that would be best so that you can make the dish even more Slovenian. If not, any type of cooking wine will do. Finally, you'll need some salt and pepper. Now for the mashed potatoes, you'll need half a cup of cream cheese, 3 potatoes, some scallions, and finally salt and pepper. Start by peeling the potatoes, like so. After peeling the potatoes, you quarter them or you cut them into 4 parts. Why? So that later, when you cook them in the boiling water, they cook much faster. Then, chop the scallions or green onions or spring onions. There are 3 names for this type of vegetable. And chop the basil. Again, you can use parsley instead of basil. And finally, chop the garlic. In a pot of boiling water, add the potatoes and cook for 5 to 10 minutes or until tender. Add some salt, 2 teaspoons will do, and then mix. After mixing, it's time to put the lid or a cover on top of the pot. For the chutney, you just have to mix the oil, the garlic, the chopped parsley or basil, and the chopped scallions. Mix everything and add 1 or 2 teaspoons of salt. While you're preparing the chutney, make sure that you check on the potatoes once in a while. When the water boils, remove the lid and check to see if the potatoes are soft enough. If they are not soft enough, continue cooking. While the potatoes are cooking, marinate the fish with salt and pepper and add some of the chutney. So that's going to give it more flavor. And then you spread it around. And then after adding the chutney, you have to add some wine. Now rub the marinade all over the fish and let it rest for 5 minutes. Now use a fork to check if the potatoes are ready. If they are soft enough, you turn off the heat and then you slowly transfer the potatoes into a bowl that has chopped scallions. So you put them one by one like so. Now that the potatoes are in the bowl, it's time to season them. So season the potatoes with salt, maybe 2 teaspoons or so. I think that will be okay. And you'll also need some black pepper. After adding the black pepper, it's time for you to add the cream cheese. So this recipe requires you to put in half a cup of cream cheese. However, if you want it to be creamier, you can add more. It's up to you. Now use a fork to mash the potatoes and mix everything together. Now it's time to cook the fish. In a hot skillet, add some oil and then use your hand to see if the skillet is hot enough. When it's hot enough, you can add the fish. Now let's listen to the fish go sizzle. It's always nice to hear it go sizzle. After a minute or two, turn the fish to the other side. The amount of time depends on how thick the fish slices are. Now, if both sides of the fish have slight burn marks, that means your fish is ready. Turn off the heat and you can transfer the fish to a plate. Now put the fish, the chutney, and the potatoes on a plate. And there you have it, fried fish with garlic basil chutney. In case you need it, here's a written recipe for fried fish with garlic basil chutney. Feel free to share in the comments how yours turned out in case you make this dish on your own. I know, during this pandemic, it's difficult and dangerous to travel abroad. Fortunately, we can taste a bit of Slovenia right in the comfort of our own home. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to get weekly video recipes. Anyway, enough talking, here's a written recipe. Enjoy! Now it's time to welcome our special guest, Mr. Goraz Meja, and he's going to talk more about Slovenia and the policies that make Slovenia such a green country.
So, Slovenia is one of the most environmentally friendly countries in the world. It is actually the first country that got the title greenest destination, as it would be translated into English. As a nation, we acknowledge that the only way forward is to cooperate with nature, and that is not just to exploit it for a profit. Not only energy sources and transportations, but also tourism and trash management and biodiversity, they are all subjected to certain standards that must not deviate from normal practice. Last year, so in 2021, our capital was also pronounced as the greenest capital, again, and several other small cities and towns across the country also ended up being on the top 20 list of the greenest places, destinations. I also must say that the country really is green, as in the most literal way, meaning of this word, since it's still mostly covered with forests. I think it's the third most covered with forest country in Europe, and I think that is also giving us the edge in this competition as of being called green.
For today's TOEIC practice, we're going to do reading. Directions. A word or phrase is missing in each of the sentences below. 4 answer choices are given below each sentence. Select the best answer to complete the sentence, then mark the letter A, B, C, or D on your answer sheet. Here's 1 to 5. Here's 6 to 10.